So, today we're diving deep into a huge question about Ethereum's future. By 2026, it's really standing at a crossroads. Is it going to be the backbone of a new internet? Or is it something, well, a lot more fragile? Let's get right into it. You've definitely seen the headlines, right? The clickbaity titles asking, is Ethereum dead? It's a provocative question for sure, and it just doesn't seem to go away. But before we unpack why it keeps coming up, let's just do a quick reality check with the actual numbers. Okay, so for a network that's supposedly dead, Ethereum is holding on to a ton of value. We're talking a market cap of over $400 billion. I mean, that's a number that's pretty hard to ignore, and it immediately makes that whole dead narrative feel a little complicated. And, that massive market cap is backed up by a really significant price per ether. We're looking at something around $3,300. So yeah, financially, the vital signs, they look pretty strong. But what about how people are actually using it? Well, when you look at decentralized finance, DeFi, Ethereum's pull is just undeniable. It is still the undisputed king. About 63% of all the money locked up in DeFi is on its network. It's not just a player, it's the foundation of this huge financial ecosystem. So, that brings us back to the big question. If the numbers look so good, why does this "is Ethereum dead" narrative even exist? Well, it's because the story isn't just about the numbers. All that doubt is really rooted in some very real, very long-standing problems that have been bugging the network for years. Look, if you've ever tried to use Ethereum during a crypto bull run, you know the pain. The gas fees can be just sky high. We're talking hundreds of dollars for one simple transaction. And that exact scalability problem, it basically opened the door for these faster, cheaper rivals like Solana to swoop in and gain a ton of traction. So what's Ethereum's game plan to fight back? Well, it's not about trying to make the main network do everything. Instead, the whole strategy has shifted to building an entire ecosystem on top of it. This is Ethereum's great scaling bet, and it's all about something called Layer 2s. So, what in the world is a Layer 2 or an L2? The easiest way to think about it is like an express lane on a super busy highway. It's this separate, faster chain that handles all the transactions quickly and cheaply, and then it bundles them up and reports back to the main Ethereum network. And the best part? It inherits all of Ethereum's top-notch security while doing it. Now, this whole strategy led to this massive explosion of different L2 solutions. It was kind of a Wild West for a while, but over the last year or so, things have really consolidated in a dramatic way. Now, just a few key players have risen to the top as the dominant forces in this new layered world. And you can see just how much the field has narrowed. Check this out. One single L2, called Base, now handles about 60% of all L2 activity. That's huge. So what's its secret sauce? Well, it has a direct pipeline to millions and millions of Coinbase users, which makes it incredibly easy for people to get started. Okay, so these L2s basically come in two main flavors. First, you've got optimistic rollups like Base. Their philosophy is innocent until proven guilty. They just assume transactions are valid unless someone challenges it. Then you have ZK-rollups. They're the opposite. Guilty until proven innocent. They use some really advanced math to prove every single transaction is valid. Now, the key difference for you, the user, ZK rollups let you get your money out way, way fast. And all of this has led to this really cool world of specialized ecosystems. So Arbitrum, it's the king of DeFi liquidity. Base, like we just saw, has the most users, hands down. Big banks, they're turning to ZK rollups like ZK Sync to tokenize real-world assets. And for stuff like gaming and NFTs, you have these highly specialized platforms like Immutable X. Each L2 is kind of carving out its own little niche. But here's the catch. This grand solution to Ethereum's scaling problem, it isn't a free lunch. By shifting its entire architecture so dramatically, Ethereum has actually introduced a whole new and really complex set of risks that could end up defining its entire future. And the stakes here are incredibly high. One key report actually calls this transition fragile and notes that the whole thing could buckle under stress. This isn't just some simple software update we're talking about. It's a fundamental re-architecting of a multi-hundred-billion-dollar network. No pressure, right? The technical risks are very real. You've got that fragile transition to new verification methods. There's this thing called state bloat, which is just a fancy way of saying the blockchain is getting so big that only huge corporations can afford to run it, which really hurts decentralization. And of course, you've got the constant threat of hacks and the need for brand new security standards. Economically, there are some major question marks too. With over 55 different L2s out there, user funds and liquidity are spread super thin. And as more and more activity moves onto these L2s, it could actually eat away at the fee revenue that's supposed to secure the main Ethereum chain. And all of this is happening while those competitors are still innovating like crazy. And this fragmentation creates this, frankly, terrifying risk, the idea of zombie chains. As the big L2s like Base and Arbitrum get bigger and bigger, the smaller ones could just wither away and die, trapping users' funds on a network that's effectively dead. Scary stuff. And then, on top of everything else, you've got the external pressures. Huge staking services are raising some serious concerns about centralization. New tax rules are a headache for literally everyone, and this constant cloud of regulatory uncertainty around things like privacy and staking just casts a shadow over the entire ecosystem. So when you put it all together, the incredible opportunities and these immense risks, what does the future actually hold for 2026? Well, the analysis really points to three very distinct, very possible scenarios. All right, here we go. In the bull case, a successful tech upgrade combined with booming institutional adoption could push the price above $5,500. The base case? That sees steady, continued growth in the L2 ecosystem, which would probably keep prices right around where they are now. But the bear case is also very real. A major technical failure or just getting outmaneuvered by the competition could see the price fall below $2,000. So let's circle back. Is Ethereum dead? Clearly not. But it is absolutely at a crucial turning point. The next year is going to decide if it truly becomes the global, decentralized infrastructure it promises to be, or if it's a fragile giant buckling under its own incredible complexity. The future is unwritten, but one thing's for sure, 2026 is going to be a decisive chapter.